What's up, witches? My name's Amanda, and I'm the Fun Size Reader. So we have about a week and a half left until Halloween. So I wanted to get you guys a list of spooky, creepy, chilling books that you could read during this week and a half to get you prepared for, I know spooky season is like almost over, but Halloween coming up. So here are 5 books that I read and got the complete chills or scared the crap out of me, in no particular order of best, worst, whatever. The first one is The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and this one came out, I believe, earlier this year, and I actually picked this for one of my Fun Size Book Club buddy reads. And this was really fun to read as a group because we kind of got to debate what we thought was going to happen, because this one is really not predictable. So it's about this wedding that is set on this spooky, dark, stormy island, and there's myths that are associated with the island of people dying and going missing and monsters and things like that. There's a murder, and you don't know who gets murdered. So the whole storyline is kind of bringing you through the chain of events, finding out who gets murdered at the end and why. And so it's very chilling and dark, and you can try to guess. I'll just say it that way. You can try to guess, but I could not predict the ending of this one. Definitely had my theories, but I was wrong. So if you're looking for that kind of spooky, dark, creepy setting with some jumps thrown in, The Guest List by Lucy Foley is for you. The next one that I absolutely loved was a book that literally made me gasp and yell WTF, but not the abbreviation, like the actual words, because of the twists that happen in this book. So this is The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn, and there is a movie coming out with Amy Adams for this book. So I definitely recommend reading the book before you go see the movie, whenever the movie's gonna come out. I have no idea when. COVID problems. This is a psychological thriller that gave me the tingling in the back of my neck, somebody standing behind me kind of feels. This is another one I could not predict at all. That's why I gasped and yelled, "What the fuck?" because I could not believe it. This has not really supernatural in any way, shape, or form. So it's not super Halloween-y in that witches and ghouls and demons vibe, but it's more of just the chills and real people thrills that this will give you. The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn, definitely recommend if you love psychological thrillers. Okay, my next one that I wanted to recommend to you guys is by Ruth Ware, and I've read a few of her books so far, and I think this one was my favorite as far as thrillers go. A lot of her others are written in kind of the Agatha Christie mystery style, so they're not super thrillery, but they're more of that whodunit. This one to me was very thrillery. I get creeped out by little kids being in stories when spooky things start happening. So this one is called The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. And it's one that you don't really know if it's a ghost story or not because of the things that are happening in it. So that's all I'm really gonna say, but it's about this girl who becomes a nanny for these young girls in this house that's super far away in the middle of nowhere, this rich family, and weird things start happening inside the house and specifically to her. If you like creepy children in stories, if you like that ghosty, big house, scary feeling, definitely check out The Turn of the Key. The Whisper Man by Alex North was a book that scared the crap out of me last year. So I read this one October of last year, and I actually have his next book called The Shadows on my TBR for the next couple weeks before Halloween. So I might get a video out on that too. But The Whisper Man is so scary. It's so scary. It's about this guy who moves to this town, and he moves with his son, and this town has this history of young boys that disappear and are murdered. And the myth, or I want to say detective search behind the murders, is that there is a man called the Whisper Man who whispers into the boys' windows, the little boys' windows, and talks to them and befriends them, and then basically kidnaps and murders them. But this book is so scary, so scary. And I kicked it down a star because I did predict the ending, but it was one of those where I had 3 options in my head of how the book could go, and it went one of my 3 options, so I said I predicted it, but it could have gone any way. But talk about real chills and creepiness and like straight up Halloween scary vibe. This book, I'm telling you, pick this one up for sure. The last of my 5 is actually one of Riley Sager's books, and Riley Sager has kind of a either you love him following or you hate him following, but I have read 3 out of his 4 books. And what I really like about Riley is that all of his books are inspired by things that are popular in our culture. So each one is inspired by a different thing. Final Girls is inspired by like the Thrasher films and Freddy Krueger. Last Time I Lied, which is the one that I haven't read, is kind of inspired by that 80s camp vibe where everybody starts dying. And I've heard that one's really good. This one, Lock Every Door, is inspired by Rosemary's Baby, and Home Before Dark, which is one of his others that I would recommend reading. It's more ghosty Halloween. That one is inspired by Amityville Horror. So he takes these media classics that we all know and love and inspires his work around that. So the people who love him usually have one book that they really gravitate to based on the things that they enjoyed growing up. So this one, Lock Every Door, is based on Rosemary's Baby, which I didn't really know anything about, but I still loved this story. And I read this when I was living alone. And so maybe that's why it super creeped me out more than normal, because it's about a girl who lives alone in this apartment because she's apartment sitting and getting paid to do that. But it's in this big, huge apartment in New York, and it's really fancy, but there are rules about secrecy of anybody who lives in the complex. So she can't talk about anything that goes on in the complex to anybody else while she's sitting in this apartment. And then people start going missing, and she tries to figure out what's going on. So if you live alone, be wary of this one, because that's why it really freaked me out, because she's in this place and weird things start happening and she's by herself and can't talk to anybody. So Lock Every Door, definitely recommend this one. And like I said, Home Before Dark was really good as well. Final Girls was also really good, but you have to really like that slasher film for that one. And I haven't read Last Time I Lied. So I recommend Riley Sager. Love his books. All right, and those were my 5 that I wanted to recommend, but I do want to give this one a special mention. This is called Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and I am talking about this one in a sense that I can't really recommend it because I've read it. I got about that far, and it was so scary to me that I got nightmares. So I give this one special mention because it gave me nightmares, and it would probably be a good Halloween read for lots of people. It's about this girl named Alex, and she goes to school at Yale, and it's kind of a twist on the secret societies that are in place at Yale and I want to say cults that kind of have been rumored there, but there's a lot of very fantastical ghosts, demons, things that are coming after them that Alex is supposed to help keep away from the secret societies. But this one scared me so bad, I literally had nightmares and I couldn't finish reading it. So I might be doing a giveaway at some point next week for this one. So check out my Instagram if you want to participate in that. But I had to give this one special mention just because it scared me so much that I couldn't finish it. So it might be a good read for Halloween. Thanks for joining in this week. I was really excited to share my Halloween books with you, and I might be doing another one next week for some YA thriller reads, since these were all adult thrillers and chilly books. But now, since it is 90 degrees here and I put on a long sleeve to make it look like it was Halloween, I'm gonna go take this off because it's a little hot. But if you want to talk on Instagram, find me at The Fun Size Reader, on Facebook at The Fun Size Reader, and on Twitter at Fun Size Reader. And don't forget to click like and subscribe below. See you guys next time.